But with just days left before Election Day, candidates are making their final pitches for votes. Early voting is now underway throughout our state. Lines at the Estero Recreation Center wrapped around the building on Monday morning. Early voting sites will remain open through November 2nd for Lee and Collier counties. In some counties like Charlotte, you can cast early ballots through November 3rd. Supervisors of elections offices throughout the state have posted wait times on their websites. You can also drop off mail-in ballots at early voting sites. And there's still time to research candidates and issues. The League of Women Voters has a tool to help. Many voters have their sample and mail-in ballots in hand. We're only a few weeks away from Election Day. If you need to research candidates, referendums, and Florida's constitutional amendments, the League of Women Voters can help. Joining me now is Laura Hanson-Reynolds, who has worked on the League's voter website, vote411.org. Laura, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So let's start with what kind of information, exact information, folks can find, and is that information nonpartisan?
Well, the purpose of Vote 411 is to give you, we call it a one-stop shop for all the information you need to vote. You know, if you were looking for voter registration months ago, you could have found that. Where is your precinct office? You can find that. But what people really want us to see is what is on your ballot. So when you go to vote411.org, you'll scroll down and it'll ask you to put in your address. And based upon your address, it creates a personalized ballot of what are the races and issues that you're going to be asked to vote on. And it just goes through race by race by race, and then issue by issue by issue. But for each race, it gives you a full description of exactly what is this job, and what powers or what decisions does this person make if they become elected, and how long is their term of office, and even how much are they going to be paid if they win. And then it shows you the candidates, and you can click on candidates and find in their own words. We don't ever change anything a candidate says. What is their background? What is their education? And then they answer a variety of issue questions. And you can click on one candidate and another one and compare them side by side to see what they have to say on the different issues. I like to think that voters vote because they care about the issue and they care about how they're going to be represented. And so it's only through getting information from the candidates directly. And of course, advertising only tells you what they want to tell you. When they answer questions to issues, they're telling you what we're asking them to provide to voters.
And you were telling me earlier, you work very hard to make sure that information is nonpartisan.
We are completely nonpartisan, which means the League never endorses a candidate. We have no preference for parties. We just want complete information to be available to voters and for it to have no bias to it whatsoever.
So as you know, a lot of important constitutional amendments up for voters to decide on. What specifically can they find about those
So
proposals?
For each of the constitutional amendments in Florida, and sometimes there's local referenda questions as well, ballot issues, we will provide the language that you're going to see on your ballot, which is like passed by ordinance, but then we'll write a plain English description of what does it mean. We'll tell you exactly what a yes vote means, what a no vote means, and we'll tell you the organizations who have gone on the record saying that they support this, and the organizations that say they are in opposition to this measure or this amendment. And then it's up to you to decide, based upon that information, do you choose to support it or do you want to vote against it?
How do you get the information from candidates?
For candidate information, once you qualify with your local supervisor of elections or the State Department in the state level, we will contact you through the email address and provide you with an individual link. Each profile belongs to the candidate. We make no changes to it. We make no edits to it. And they have to sign in and answer. They post a photograph of themselves so you can see what they look like. They give their background and their education, and then their 3 to 6 issue questions that they have to answer to tell voters where they stand on something that we think is important or that voters tell us is important on that particular race. And you can read all about one candidate, or you can click a button and compare a candidate against another one and get their side-by-side answers to see what they have to say on issues. And it's interesting, because it's in their own words, you get a bit of a flavor from them about where they stand, what they support, what they don't support. And you know, the idea is for you as a voter to choose the person who's going to best represent you.
Laura, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.